Okay, I'm sitting here with Phumla Makgwaredi from the Temba Community Development Services. Phumla, please tell me something about yourself and about the organization.
First of all, I want to talk about the director. The director of the organization is Lulu Boxoza Besman. He's the founder of the organization. I'm Phumla Princess Makgwaredi, the center manager of Temba. Temba was found in 1999. The problem we see in the community, there's no one who's looking after the sick people. Then we organize the traditional leaders who are in partnership because they see that in another house there is the need. Then we do also the home-based care training that everyone must care for his patient. But most of the time, our people are raped and they default to the treatment. Then we do that thing also because we're taking the treatment from the hospital, we give it them. Then we said we must eat at this time because most of our people, they don't want to eat that treatment as well.
When you talk about the treatment, you're talking about HIV/AIDS treatment.
I'm talking about HIV/AIDS.
Okay, and tell me, how many people are you caring for right now?
It's 22 people I've got it.
And how many of you are working here?
16 caregivers. And they are working 4 days, and another 4 days they are off. When they are off, they also do the outreach in the community.
Okay, so you're working here at the center, but you also do outreach. Okay. And you say you're working in partnership with the traditional leaders. Can you tell us about which traditional leaders you're working with and what do you do with them?
First of all, I'm working with Nokaka Jumba at Tabase. I'm working also at Nobulali at Mkagezweni. Mkagezweni is my own village. They know what I'm doing in my center. Even here in the wards, there is another guy who's coming from Cape Town. The relative was passed away and there's no one who's going to look after them. They said, Phumla, you must take this guy to the shelter. Even at Bazia location, most of the time, Nokaka came here, he visited us, he donated with food, he gave us even the patient. He said, you must look after this patient. Yes.
Okay, so you're working with the traditional leaders to receive members of their community to come and stay here.
Yes.
Okay, and do you do training with the traditional leaders as well?
The traditional leaders, they just come here for the training because the training is for 5 days, it's home-based care. You must know how to handle the sick people because most of the time we've got that age, maybe 70 years and 75, that's called dementia. Dementia, most of the time in our villages, they said, you are a witch. They don't understand that you are just losing memory because of the age.
Okay, and so do you also do education around these things?
Yes.
Educating?
We're also doing education. Even if there is a funeral, we have a slot there because we want, where the people are there, we must talk. Even at the radio station in UCR and Ingwane radio station, every Wednesday, they give us the slot.
Okay, so at a funeral, you will speak about these things about dementia and HIV and so on.
We speak about dementia, we speak about stigma, because most of our families, if you are HIV positive, the first thing they come in their mind, you are just, who have got a lot of boyfriends. They don't understand that HIV comes in different ways.
And are you working only with women traditional leaders, or do you also work with some of the men traditional leaders?
Most of the men, they are so scared. Most of the time, if we can say we must sit down and talk, then said, oh, we are coming, Phumla, we are coming. It's better if we are going to the churches.
Okay, so you work with the churches.
Yes, we're working also with the churches.
And you're also working with gender-based violence cases.
Yes.
Can you tell a bit more about the work you're doing with gender-based violence?
As gender-based violence is so hard, really, because first of all, I was married, then I divorced from my marriage. I've got boyfriend, then I've got my daughter. Then this boyfriend of mine is going, first of all, he's going to sleep with my daughter. Then my daughter, when he came to me, he said, yeah, my mom, my father is doing like this thing. I said, no, there's no such thing, because I don't want to break my relationship. I love this man more than my kids. It's another gender-based violence, because my daughter now is not happy anymore, because he have no one who's going to talk and he's going to listen, because most of us, the women's, is just we're selling our daughters to our boyfriends. Is what is happening here most of the time. And then outside there, most of the time, if we've got ships, the small guys, they are not working. They said, oh, there's a money there and there's no father, there's no what. They came, they take money, they rape, they do anything. Then we are going to our chiefs. We've got imbizo. Then with that imbizo, if we are addressing these things, there's another one who's a representative from that guys. They notice, oh, you are talking too much. They write a letter, they put just beneath the door. When you are opening the door, you find this letter. They said, you must not talk anymore if you want your life, because they are going to shoot you. And we've got that problem, but everyone who've got the problem, you don't want to address that was happening in this way. Even in the case of rape, no one can stand, I was raped, because we were scared of each other. Yes.
And we've been hearing there are shootings in some of these communities. Do you think the shootings are related to what you say now?
Yeah, I think it's related, because if they are shooting, they enter inside, they shoot, then they are going to rape. If they shoot my husband, me is going to be raped with these guys, because they are going to say, you must take out the clothes. Then I take it out the clothes. They send to my daughters, you see your mom is taking your clothes, then you must do that way. Then they rape one each other.
And in these situations, you are trying to offer support to the victims.
We're trying to support most of the time with the victims, because we report to the police, we are taken from the hospital, we do the education. If you raped, you must not wash yourself. You must not touch anything. You must go to the policeman, then you can go to the SNAWA, to the hospital, because there's this disease, HIV and AIDS and others, from the hospital, and they are going to give you prophylaxis to prevent that. If you receive this disease from this guy, you must be secured. But if you are already HIV positive, it's not going to secure.
And with the traditional leaders, I know this might be a difficult question to answer, but how do you feel about the way the traditional leaders are dealing with these issues in the communities?
It's too hard, because I see most of the time they address it, they talk about this, and there's no finger point that you're doing this thing and thing and thing. They are ashamed about this life, because if they do like this, maybe they are coming, these guys later, they are going to shoot them.
So even they are at risk?
Yes, they are at risk, really.
I'm stumped. Peace, I don't know if you have a question. So yeah, so what happens with cases of gender-based violence? Even rape is one thing, but beating of people in the homes. What is the process within a community from your experience? What happens if there's a situation? Do you take it to the family? Do you take it to the headsman? Do you take it to the traditional leader? What is the process?
We take him to the headman, then from the headman we take it to another level. Then first of all, we see that thing, they must receive that healing, because now she is in that situation which is bad. He don't trust even no one, because he said, if this guy is coming to me, he's going to do this thing. We are trying to say to the traditional leaders, they must talk to these people. They are not alone. We are fighting this thing that is happening.
Okay, so you're encouraging the traditional leaders to be with the victims, to help with the healing process. Okay.
Yes.
And do you see some of this is happening, the healing process within communities? Are traditional leaders or other people in the community trying to help victims and survivors to heal?
They tried to help these people, but it's too hard. It's too hard, because if it's happening in this month, another month, maybe in 2 weeks' time, there's another thing which is happening. Even next week is Easter. We are going to see what is happening, because there's a visitor who's coming from the Easters. They are going to take even the phone. They were doing last year. They were taking the phones of these visitors were coming from another different areas to the Easters.
For Easter, people are coming for Easter.
Yes.
And then they use that opportunity to...
Yes, they use that opportunity.
Okay. And so what is it that your organization would like to see? What is your dream for this area? What is your dream?
Hey, my dream for this area or for our village, I think God can make a peace with us. Because first of all, each person, if he can do a revival, is going to be better. Because we can talk and talk and talk, but nothing can change. Even now, they receive this 350 for the grant to help them. But these 350 are not using in a good manner. Just buy liquor.
Who is receiving 350?
In the community, the person was not working, who is doing also these things.
See, so the perpetrators are receiving 350.
Yes, that they must take care. But they're still doing.
And what is the greatest need of your organization? What is your need here?
Oh, my need, I need funding. I need funding because I can make a plan with another things, but it's painful. When I'm looking to the caregivers, they said, my kids is going to school. They've got no uniform, I've got no what. Then I managed to give him 500 rand per month. That thing does not make me happy. Most of the time, I shut my door, I cry. I say, you must not forget me, God, because all these things is in my shoulder, because the director, yes, the director is here, but most of the time, he's not.
So, and you have no funding at the moment?
No funding.
So you are just managing by improvising?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't know if there's any more questions. But thank you, Phumla, very much for your time and for the work that you're doing. Thank you.
It's hard.